Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoiint and welcome back to another video. So since picking up my Tesla Model 3 in November last year, there's been a small issue with the car. It wasn't one that I noticed straight away, but it's one that over time has gradually started to annoy me. Some of you actually pointed this out in earlier videos, as it is a visual issue. Any guesses what that could have been? So we're talking about door alignments, and it's usually quite easy to spot as the chrome strips across the top of the door don't line up when you're looking at it, and it gives the impression that the doors have dropped slightly. Now, I actually only have this fault on one door, it's my driver's door. But the problem that I have is when I close the door, the glass sometimes hits the B-pillar, which sounds awful, to the point where you're worried you're going to break the glass. So now it's finally the time to get the car booked in. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to show you the process of how to book your car in for a service, and also what happened when I returned to Tesla in Leeds. So when you need to book your car into Tesla for a service or a repair, you need to go through the app on your phone. It's the quickest and it's the easiest way to do it. So in the app, you just choose Schedule Service. You select the type of service that you need. So in my case, I chose exterior and then I chose door handles and latches. It's the closest one that I could find. But you'll see that there are a list of different options available, and you can also multiple select too. Okay, so on the next screen, you'll need to describe what the problem is and provide up to 5 photos per issue. So I did upload pictures of the door itself so they knew exactly what to expect, and I assume that on the day the technician will probably see the pictures as well. Pop your address in and choose your local service centre. So my closest is Leeds, which is about 50 miles each way. But as a mobile visit was available, I chose that instead. And it means they'll come out to you and they'll fix the issue. You can also choose the date and time that's convenient to you. It'll probably be a few weeks in the future, so just bear that in mind. So once you're booked in, you'll get a text message straight away confirming your appointment, and that's it. So now I just need to sit back and wait 3 weeks until the mobile visit. But unfortunately, a few hours later, I received another text stating that my request wasn't eligible for a mobile visit. So it was then changed to a service centre visit in Leeds. Now, this day wasn't convenient to me. I mean, that's the whole reason I chose a home visit in the first place. So I had to call in and change it to an earlier date. Fast forward 3 weeks, and then 24 hours before my visit, I did receive a follow-up text message just confirming the appointment for the next day, and then I received a short phone call in the afternoon just checking that I was definitely attending. And that's where I was asked if I'd be waiting with the car, or if I needed a courtesy car or a taxi sorting for the day. So on the day, I was booked in for 9 AM. At least it means there's a good chance that there's no delays from other bookings and I'll get straight in. So as I mentioned, my closest is about 50 miles away, so I needed to give myself a good hour or so to get there, but it's a good excuse for a drive out. So the Leeds service centre is in a great location too, so it's just off the motorway, and then only a short drive once you're off. It's easily accessible. So pulling up, there weren't actually any parking spaces available, so I just parked in one of the supercharger bays. And there are 8 supercharger bays at Leeds now. This must be something that was added this year because they weren't here the last time that I visited. And as soon as I parked, I actually received a text message from Tesla thanking me for dropping the car off. So this was before I'd even left the car, so I assume they knew this by my location, so that's pretty cool. So I still went to the desk and checked in anyway, as I was going to be using the waiting room today. So upon entering, I just gave my name, handed my keycard over, they asked if I had PIN to drive enabled, and I was also told that there was a recall on my car for a wiring loom, so I okayed the job to be done at the same time, which they said would probably take about an extra 30 minutes. So we are still social distancing at the moment, which meant that the waiting room was actually quite busy, and I was then asked if I wanted to use the handover room instead. It's where you'd usually pick your car up from. The downside here is there are no drinks or snacks on demand, and it would have made for better viewing in the waiting room, but the upside is the room was really well air conditioned and it was obviously empty. I needed to get some work done anyway, so I managed to sit down and I literally wasn't disturbed or even spoken to for nearly 90 minutes. So while I didn't need a courtesy car as I was happy to wait, there was the option to have one, and failing that, I could have asked for a taxi to be arranged to take me into the city, which is only a couple of miles away. Okay, so nearly an hour and a half later the car was ready, which actually wasn't too bad. I was handed the key card, told the glass knock-in had been fixed and the recall sorted, and I went out to the car on my own. But as soon as I approached, I could see the door looked no different. And I'll be honest, I was absolutely gutted. I mean, sure, the glass was no longer hitting the B-pillar, and I tested this several times, but the door still looked the same. It still looked like it had dropped. So I went straight back in, and to be fair, the guy who had been dealing with me all morning was great. He came straight out, took one look and said, "Not a problem, I'll get it sorted." Took the car away, then 10 minutes later it was back and it was fixed. It looked great, it looked perfect. The car finally looked normal. So I can't fault the quick turnaround, but it's a shame that it took 2 attempts. I mean, Whoever fixed the door the first time surely would have seen the alignment issue and fixed it. I mean, even if I hadn't requested the door alignment to be fixed, would you not just fix it anyway? I mean, it's a 10-minute job and it clearly looks like a fault. So my experience of the Tesla service was pretty good overall. I like the fact that you can book it through the app, you can select the fault, upload photos, and you can choose your preferred date and time. All of the updates before, during and after were great too, and at no point did I feel lost or uncertain what was going to happen. Also, the staff at Leeds, which is the only service centre that I've ever been to, were great. I mean, I've been there 5 times in total now, including test drives, the collection day, and a couple of services. Each time it's been decent and all very relaxed. And another thing that I really like, and this is the same for every visit, at no point do I feel like the staff are trying to sell me something. Compare that to any other manufacturer, where you've gone in for a routine service, and while you're there, they're trying to sell you maintenance or a new car or something else, making the whole experience kind of a bit of an awkward one, really. And if I had to choose something that I didn't like or that I would change, and that would be the fact that the reason that I was there in the first place should never have happened. It should never have been a reason. The door should never have been out of alignment, or it should have been picked up by QC or pre-delivery inspection. Looking back, yeah, okay, I should have spotted it on day one, but being caught up in the moment, I definitely overlooked it. So overall, it was a really straightforward service visit. It was quick, it was free, and they eventually fixed the issues that I went in to get sorted. A few minutes after sitting in the car, I received a text message confirming the car was ready to collect. Now, I'm not sure if anyone else feels the same, but after every service visit or MOT or general repair job, no matter how small, the car feels like a new car. So it was awesome jumping back in and heading home again. And hopefully I won't be back anytime soon. So has anyone else needed to use the Tesla service centre yet? And what's been your experience? Or if you've not used one, what are your thoughts on my experience? Is it what you would expect from a car manufacturer? And that wraps up this week's video. So if you've got any questions at all about my experience or suggestions for a new video, just drop them in the comments below. So as always, thank you for watching. And if this video was useful to you, or you're interested in seeing more Tesla and tech videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on my other social channels, including Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.